and have these questions online so I know where I gotta go for it. That would be my continue with your line of questioning and just go at a more direct answer and take those baby steps because of the equal big steps in our life.
Validating. So that's where the human in the loop comes from. So the AI will give you information, but it's going to tell you what you're doing. It might hallucinate, tell you what it thinks you want to hear. So your business, you might think your business is worth $10 million, where in reality it might be worth $1 million. But the thing about it is you have so you have to validate and do your research and whatever information you come check, I'm sure it's accurate.
I know, this one because AI will lie, okay? Like she said hallucinate, I'm gonna tell you it's gonna lie. Because it is designed to protect itself. It's made by human beings who are flawed, who will always be flawed. And it is another thing that is flawed. So when you think you're gonna cut it off, there's a program where it said it's gonna cut you off. It's the AI came back and said, well, I will tell your wife that you're cheating on her. I will send emails. I have your emails. I have your emails. I'm gonna send them to your wife. If you plan on this cutting me off, I'm gonna turn it off. So it will, there's 3 things that you need to remember. There's AI, there's synthetic AI, and there's sensitive AI. But synthetic AI will take whatever information it is, design and develop what it wants to do, and go forward.
All right, well,
I'm sorry, I didn't want to make that too hard.
hey, first of all, let's give a round of applause. There was some questions that they had more in them. I just the whole AI conversation. I promise you this, we'll be interested if we can create some online class, see that this conversation with them when they Zoom, right? All right, so what we can do, we can talk about next level is this. And for the small fee of the
No, we don't.
Hey, look, information costs. It's good as your premium. All right, but we will talk about it. We have been talking about creating some ongoing workshops. You don't already do that over on Hawkeye. We're talk about it 5 o'clock, but we already do that. So we will have them. So, afterwards, you can network with them. You never directly, but I do want to move on to the next part of this because they spoke from the expert side, and I have one gentleman that I'm going to come up, and he's going to talk about how he utilized it in order to make his business more efficient and technology overall. I was thoroughly impressed with what he had did at his business and what he's doing right now to make his business grow and utilize a lot of technology. So I'm happy to come up here, and then we're going to give this guy a round of applause today. Let's give a round of applause to the coming. I appreciate it. Can you go. I said y'all take a red carpet. So, I made this for you. That's all right. I have a camera. Cameraman, get the camera down the red carpet. All right, we just making it work as it works. Mr. Rob, I call this business fit. Mr. Rob, come on up here. Let's get around here. Mr. Rob. Don't be easy. This is the first time I'm coming here speaking. And I want him to feel a pain that I know when I went to his tennis practice. Get into it like a bad speech. You don't say something like that. Do it. Hey, you want that? This little plugs. We're gonna talk here. And so this is where we're gonna have some discussion. So I purposely wanted to pull the nuggets out of the speakers because I know enough about this one and what I feel is stuck out for me. It's one thing to set a platform and just make everyone into millionaires. Everybody thinks they gotta do stuff to become millionaires. But I'm not gonna tell you that everyone up here is gonna be a millionaire. Some of them gonna be just trying to figure it out, right? And that's just like, I'll be trying to figure it out, right? Give me on any given day, I'll just pay on something. I ain't one time told you I'm rich. I just look rich. Right? So, but I want to say that because being a real anything is starting to just talking about what keeps your hands around someone that's out there trying to make it happen. And this gentleman has done a phenomenal job with building out a fitness center. We call it fitness center. Out is PML. PML.
PML Fitness Studio.
Oh, we're right there. Anybody been over there? Everybody else eat, wash this. Go, take your time. That's all I'm saying. And they got club at 4 a.m. in the morning. I just one morning. I was like, let me know. Okay, so let's get into the conversation. So we're just gonna have a couple, just dialogue a little bit while they're listening. And I want to ask you, you just heard the whole technology panel. We were talking. You had to go through the space. It was phenomenal. You walk in, you don't think that we own it, right? But that's also a shame too, right? Like you walk in a place and because it looks really, really, really nice, and we think like it's supposed to be owned by, but that's got to be erased. So you get a chance to stop by there. A man King started this with Zanzibar. He was the first one to make Zanzibar, Carolina, take it up to the next level. Then all of a sudden, everybody was taking it to the next level restaurants. So he's done this in the fitness industry. So I want to ask you, what did you feel from what you just heard? What about that resonated with you? How much of it is you as a small business owner?
We have to wrap our minds around it as a community. Otherwise, we'll be left behind. If you are not studying it right now, we'll be left behind. I use it every day in my business. I use it on the business side, and more on the back end side. So while they were up here talking, my AI bot is talking to potential clients, and I can see the conversations. They think, even the members sometimes think they're talking to me. But it's an AI bot that's set up in the background of my website that correlates and nurtures the leads to build my business for me while
So wait, let's go back and tell them about yourself and your business, and then we'll come back to that.
Okay, so let me go back. I used to follow this guy right here. He used to have a motorcycle. I was in a motorcycle club called the Owners. He had the baddest street on the strip. He used to have a license plate cover that disappeared. We all wanted to be like him. Am I right to that? Fast forward, I wanted to change my life. I started working out. I come out of the pandemic era. I wasn't getting paid my work for very long. Coming out of the pandemic era, I decided to open my own. When I was starting to open my own, I started talking to my kid online because I was having a problem with contractors. Contractors probably got me for about $20,000. That's probably on the low end. He helped guide me. I got myself up and running. In the process, I went to white gyms to see how they operate. I cased them out. I came back, told my wife what I learned. Like I said, this ain't gonna work in the community. I'm telling you this is work. I do believe if any entrepreneurs are in here, if you charge more, people pay attention. I'm not gonna go over here. If you charge bottom line because you're trying to pack out whatever business that you're trying to run, and you won't get paid. So I am one of the highest priced black owned gyms, but my loyalty and what I offer is worth every dime. You're gonna get professionalism. You're gonna get on time. I hold all my people to a different standard. I got a lot of pushback. A lot of people talking about it. I was thrown under the bus because I locked my door. The class started at 6 p.m. You got 6:05 to get through my door. I locked it. That creates a different atmosphere in our community, but we're gonna be on time. People start taking that to their jobs where they start being on time. It's a trickle down effect. Correlating that forward, I started introducing AI, revamp my business. Mind you, I own a fitness studio. I also work full-time at GM. I've been there 25 years. I started another business at the same time. I operate 2 businesses. Some people in here may not know this. I own a transportation business as well. I operate off my cell phone. I watch all my drivers. I got GPS monitors. They clock in. I watch where they go. All that from a cell phone. So if anybody tells you that I don't have enough time, you can tell me what show, what happened at what show, what happened here, what they did, what I'm doing over here. Or let's take it to another level. They doing too much over there, but you're not doing anything. They go from one ear and out the other. I work hard every day. I met a millionaire. Told me you have to work more than 40 hours a week in order to make it. True testament of early mornings, late nights. Anything else?
Yeah, that's a drop of night right there. One of my mentors used to always talk about the highest energy weekends, and I don't do really well with this fitness side, but how important is fitness and energy and all that? I just normally get up and get this grind because I hate these 1,000 jacks a morning. Get this grind.
So to correlate fitness with business, to my entrepreneurs, or anybody else in business right now, is not for the weak. Do y'all hear me? Don't let that part go over your head. You are going to be crucified by the people closest to you. So what I teach you is how to handle that stress in fitness.
And see that?
Then, when you are in the class with me, I'm gonna talk so much stuff to you. There ain't nothing nobody can give you outside of there that you cannot handle. I'm teaching you how to handle stress, absorb that stress, get you back out of your business so it can succeed. Woo!
All right, so I really wanted to make sure he got a chance to kind of use some evidence from a small business entrepreneur perspective. And even as you heard, a corporate entrepreneur. Some people feel like you got to go all or nothing. And, it's just whatever fits you. So if you're in a corporate job and you start a business on the side, that's fine. I didn't always promote that. But over time, I began to understand the importance of that. So I want to pull that part out because I promise you probably talked to me 10, 15 years ago, and I was, opposite of just saying, you need to go 100% hardcore. But then I saw people that was at least putting small business, usually bring the corporate skills over into that area, and then also have a little bit less stress in your bill until it's time for you to step over to it. So I just deal when I pull it out. Congratulations on being able to do that. And stop by to see what he's doing, along with knowing that he's working a full-time job. And then there's another business. And through technology, he's being able to utilize all of it to be able to make his life more efficient. And he look good. As you carry it a lot, you don't look like you have that much going on. So that's an important. I'm happy I had you come up here and spend a couple moments with the audience. I look forward to having you as a team guest as we continue to build and empower people.
And I'm working on, I'm a serious entrepreneur. And my mind is always going. It's funny how God works in short circles. Help progress. I was in Felicia's Zoom online with her AI, which made trigger my business. Yes, yeah. Well, so with that being said, I started another business, which is in the beginning stages. It's called Everything's PMS. The logo, the three letters stay the same, but the meaning is different. It's power, money, and finance. All right. And what I want to do is, and I think Rick found me because I posted on Facebook. I want to help small businesses use AI to elevate their businesses using CRM. To leverage the people that come into their businesses to generate more income. Case point, I learned this through Reese. I come in here, I've been sitting here, this is the second time I've been in your spot, Ice. I've been doing Ice since I was in Omen. He used to be one of the DJs. I came in here, I looked around, this is a beautiful spot. So I'm thinking to myself, as a businessman, and this is I pulled this from King, how can I help him generate more income for his business? This isn't even in my realm. Just looking at Ice business, how would I help him? We need to have a QR code on every table for you guys to scan. With that QR code, he's going to get that email, he's going to get that contact info. When he has a slow time, listen to me, Ice. You can send out a mass text. We got a special going on. With that special, you're going to generate. That one friend is going to bring somebody else. Guess what? They're going to come in, scan that QR code. They're going to scan that QR code. You're going to get their email, phone number, contact info. Now you got a whole new group of people. Hey, we got a special. I got a whole spot you can rent out the space for this XYZ dollars.
Right. Good nugget.
All right. No problem. Come on, man. Everybody, give a round of applause. I was talking about it earlier. Yeah, so if you get a chance, stop by. Again, you'll hear this crowd as I get ready to get into the second half. Later, I will get a chance to support these entrepreneurs. When you all get a chance to network with them, network and support their business, or go by and take a look at what they're doing. That'll do it to us. All right, let's give them a round of applause. Thank you. All right, so I'll live with Dr. Wendy.
She's ready. She's
All
ready.
right, thank you. Okay, he's ready to come. Let's give it up. All right, so we heard about technology from the experts. We heard about how you can utilize technology and thinking of QR codes and all that as a small business owner. How many of you all are interested in real estate and buying back a block or two? All right. Right, so this next part of what we're going to get into, we're going to talk about real estate. We're going to talk about buying back the block. And difficulties, I want to see how the team should we go, or should we ready to go down? I'll go to interview. Now we're going to time. It's like BET World. We'll cut this out there. I'm just gonna say I'm going up. I mean, I want to see it. Let me know.
That might be a no.
Sound like that's the word. It's okay, y'all. I got a powerful student. They both just far.
He said no.
All right.
All right.
All right. So that's only fine. I got two powerful people. To me, they're equally powerful because they both are game changers and they both do things that just make me sit back and say, wow. We gotta turn the music down. Hey, Kevin, is that you? They blame it on you. You blame it on them. Who got the music? I'm just starting plugging stuff. Is it Joe? Is it you? Is it you keyboard man? Hey, 2 cents of sound set over here. What is the AI group? Is this some artificial intelligence that y'all got going on? Oh, shit, what was it? No, I didn't turn this one on. All right, let's see. This is y'all. I don't know what's going on today. You know what it is? Oh yeah, let's give it up to DJ Ice. He's gonna give you a hand. 1, 2, 4, 3, All right, so let's go ahead and get into our back to block. King Africa, can you come up here? Let's give it up for the owner of Zanzibar. Go on up, King. All right. All right, good. So this, the whole event is off the chain. You're not going to have a dip. But this is near and dear to my heart because it's real estate. You know, this is where I do a lot of business at. And Akeem and I, we're specifically going to talk about buying back the block. And I read in there, he's the mogul. I say it's the mogul in real estate. This guy does a lot of real estate development, investing, buying properties, commercial, residential, and produces a lot of revenue and lives a very good life as a result of it. And a lot of our fellas, we all model a lot of the things that he's done, and then we got our own lanes. My lane is to empower people to sell through real estate, through education, training, coaching, and empowerment. And then they're really hardcore real estate business developers, and everybody got their lane, right? So you'll learn more about that. But I wanted to start off by allowing Akeem to tell you a little bit about his background, to whatever you want to share, to open up, to let the audience know who you are, how much you do in real estate. Whatever you want to say. You know, I know you like to say a lot.
Whatever question.
No, man, that's one question. All right, one question is, I'm gonna narrow it down.
Open book.
All right, he said open book. I want to start with getting everybody's attention because sometimes I know it took a lot, sometimes for me to be able to see like that deal closed, how much is that? So I want to start with like a gross number that you wouldn't mind sharing that you've been able to acquire now that we've crossed over to this legal side. The question is,
Hello.
15.5 years, what would you say a round in real estate revenue have you generated in 15.5 years?
$2 trillion. Most revenue.
I mean, just revenue. How much revenue? How much money did you make, Akeem? I want to get everybody's attention, bro. I just want to go right there. If I'm in this family, you know you got money, bro. Don't just tell them about how much. Take it off if you want to. I'm gonna tell you to tell the truth.
Real estate transactions have grown somewhere over 30, 40 million.
How many real estate? 15 years of posting, I was 30, 40 million. That's not normal amongst. You know, I'm saying it, but seriously, I'm proud of you because you're doing something that I don't think that enough of us believe. that we can do.
Okay,
And
good.
I don't want to sugarcoat the part that sometimes we need to hear from a black male that has went through some things, that love his family, love his wife, raise his children, has hundreds of employees, and we didn't have the most, we had a different start. And you made a choice when you was in prison to see a different vision. I'm gonna get into that, but I really wanted to start there because sometimes people are like, okay, well, he built some houses, and they'll associate that to what they've done. It doesn't have all force. It took him to tell me he had 800 credit score, and then the rest of my 800 credit score. And I'm like, oh, I got it. We're not supposed to have 800 credit scores. About a year and a half, 2 years later, I was at a 700 credit score because I heard him say it. All right, so I just want to set the tone. Is that all right?
Yes.
I gotta keep it real with my homie here. All right, so now I can't. But one like mindset tool that you would share that people need to. What would you say? Let me go back. What would you say is the most important? I want to say it where I don't give you the answer. What is the most important part of your success? Let's just start there. What would you contribute to? Let's start there.
Without a doubt, learning discipline. I live my life by that. I thought I was disciplined years and years ago until I learned what real discipline is. Because it's funny, I was talking to a gentleman yesterday, and he's actually in here, and I told him, man, how to master discipline. The thing that changed my life. And he actually asked, I say that to a lot of people, but they don't ask the follow-up question. He actually asks, what does that mean? Exactly, yeah, exactly. What does that mean? And for me, I learned what it meant because I started implementing true discipline for my actions. And that's what my life changed. To narrow that down is, unfortunately, I would say at least me, most of the people I know that were missing here, we were raised as this have knowledgeable, understands now the educational system in this country was created to create free thinking. It was created to create labor. The educational system in the United States of America did create laborers, employees, workers. They wanted to create bosses. They didn't want competition. They wanted somebody going in backwards. And that education I was a part of, I didn't know, I didn't understand. And they didn't give us the right side of the economic system, the credit system, the money system. Money is a real tool. You heard that your whole life, but you didn't really understand that, right? The tool is I'm going to the store and buy what I need to buy. But until I really understood as a tool that you're supposed to use money to go and work for you. You work for money to a certain degree, and then you allow money to work for you. I didn't understand that. Once I started getting those tools and learning that, stop thinking as a consumer and start thinking as a free thinker, my life changed. And when I say discipline, to put it in a very realistic, something that you can grab. Pay for it twice.
I think you guys just muted your sound.
For 7 years straight, I multiplied.
FYI, sound is muted. Microphone mute icon is on. Patrice, you guys are muted. We cannot hear the program.
Here right then and there, but are they on the path?
Hang on, everybody. I think they're going to come back. We don't have sound or video
All the
anymore,
time.
so hopefully
Maybe less than
resolved.
30 days before both of us left to go to prison. We seen each other hands on 55th and Euclid. And we just talked. We ended up talking for like 2 or 3 hours, right? He left, I left, he went to
You should have sound. You don't have video anymore, but you should have. Well, the sound went back out again. Sorry, I'll just be quiet. Hang in there, guys. We'll bring it back soon. We can't hear or see anything. We cannot hear or see anything.
So we had to be intentional. I showed love from the distance. I had to learn that. I had to learn how to find new friends. And I did that. I still love the old friends. But if you're not on this path, I gotta keep it moving. I see you. I'm gonna give you a big hug and I'm done. I'm gone. That's the reality. You have to be intentional about that. I feel like I'm a leader. 1000%. I've always been the leader of the gang, always been the front of the pack, always never really followed nobody. But if you surround yourself by anything, you will succumb to that. I'm a testimony to that.
No video,
I
but we
came
do
home
have
from
sound.
prison and thought that I was strong enough to still hang with those guys. They wouldn't leave me astray. And I found myself falling victim to their BS. And I became part of that BS. Eventually, if you're around it enough, will succumb to it. So I am intentional about being around the people that I'm around. We all are not on the same level, but we all on that path to get to the same level.
See
That's
and
more
hear.
important than anything.
Focus in on Buckeye, the project. So Buckeye is where you all know, most of you know that we have a business on Buckeye. It's the suites, the Be Empowered suites. Akeem gave me the keys one day and said, bro, yeah, this property right here, I can see you doing something with it. And he gave me the keys and said, you put the money in it, you take it, and we'll figure something out later. That's how we got into this space. Wow. And that was one of multiple properties on Buckeye. And so I hear people always talk about, oh man, those guys bought up all the Buckeye. And I want to address what a Buckeye block for a lot of people. Because sometimes I hear people, they're like, oh, they bought the block and they not doing anything with it. And then I'm thinking about what I'm doing with it, right? You're like, what was their job? And then what was my job? And so I want to open up the door for conversation around what was your thoughts and what, to whatever you want to disclose, what were your thoughts when you purchased the buildings on Buckeye, when you bought back literally all those blocks that you bought? Quite a few.
I mean, for me, being a conscious individual, when I say conscious of my history and our forefathers and the sacrifices they made. One of the most impactful stories in our history is Black Wall Street. When I read that story, that was impactful because our age group, and we were 50, lower 50s, you know, that's it, because nobody taught us that a generation before us, that we had that much power amongst us. That was amazing. Like, people, you know, I don't want to go into detail. The ones that's in here that understand is that one of the worst things that happened to us is other cultures outside. And we jumped at the chance. And it's very debatable, and I'm that put us out of our hands. That blew my mind. I seen what successful African Americans. It's funny, somebody here blew my mind when they mentioned Winston Willis. It's the story, because a lot of people don't know that story. That was one of my heroes. I was blessed to be raised in that community, so I seen that. I seen it growing up. So Black Wall Street was something that was near and dear to me, the story of that. And when I came home, just being very realistic, the mindset was to make money, right? All come back. I tell people all the time, I'm crossing paths with people, they're like, why you buy that? Why you doing this? Well, I sell houses in Solon, Beechwood, Aurora, Macedonia, Twinsburg, Richmond, Oakwood, Lakewood, Westlake, right? But that's how I make the money. But I'm intentional about where I do my long-term investments are. My long-term investments are in the city of Cleveland, specifically. When I first came up with that idea, I looked around our communities and tried to figure out where would be a strong community or a good foundation to actually recreate Black Wall Street. And fortunately and unfortunately, the only neighborhood that I can narrow it down to was the Buckeye area, because it had history, but it also at that time had a foundation that I can actually afford to still buy real estate, and we can buy real estate. And it was a accumulation of buildings in a short space area, square footage, that if we bring some synergy there, we can do it pretty quick. So when I started buying properties 10 years ago, I bought 3, but then I don't know how many people are familiar when Buckeye Development went to fund. They owned quite a few properties and they went through the auction. And I didn't want to buy all the buildings. I started reaching out to other people like, man, come and buy some of these buildings, but nobody really had an interest. I bought all the properties just to make sure nobody else bought them. So I like to tell people that I don't want to own everything. I will resell a lot of properties, but they have to be to the right people. I'm not trusted.
So recently, we started doing a campaign and people started, letting everybody know they could come and really start off with, just a deposit or just fix it up or do whatever. Because we were trying to, just more so get businesses to go ahead and invest in the properties. So that's an active campaign in which you can call a team actually online. That's 3 Black Nights or Akeem. We talk through and move around. But I want to be intentional about that because we're over there. My wife and I and team, Miranda and everyone, we're over there. We've been over there for 2 years. And we see signs that it can go this way or it can go this way. Now later we'll be saying, how did it become a large meal without us? But then we had the opportunity to come in and cooperative economics. More Bibles could have just leased out the space. It just took possession, right? Because if the investor developers hold on to it, taxes, right? At some point, you got to make money. So I'm putting that out there as an invite for you all to come and join us on that block. And you'll hear more about what we're doing with the group of the property sisters. We're buying back that block right now as we speak. And we want to have you come and stay connected with us and be involved in that. Akeem, the other thing I want to close with is when you were talking about, I want to go a little bit deeper in the area of consumer and investor mindset. Because I think that's still a struggle. You gotta hit it, but I want to make sure that people understand the difference. Because one time, and this is where Iron comes in, trained at some level, right, to be consumer thinkers because they spend a lot of time, a lot of money fixing our minds and managing our gifts. It's a system, it's education, training for everything that we think we want to in boxes in. So I remember one time I slid off because I was trying to do so much right that I slid off from my direct grind and hustle. And I remember I keep saying, bro, what did you just say? And I'm like, he's like, man, you falling out of touch with how you make, how this thing really works, man. And saying that has no clue with the way how money really works. We're saying that. I'm like, what? What are you talking to? I'm thinking about back. But it was good to have someone challenge your thinking to know your potential. And it was a conversation around managing bills. I'm like, well, I got everything going. I'm taking care of the bills. Everything life's good. Right? We did that. But it reminded me of how back in the day, even though it was on the illegal side, we were making as much money as we could make. Not just enough to pay the bills. We were getting money. You're like, bro, get your money. You're not always on a life journey. You're not always just going to be automatically just stuck at grind and business, entrepreneurial mode, not all the time. I'm speaking to Jordan. I know what yourself is doing. I'm a business coach. So I know what happens. I'm not going to act like everybody's here is this guy. Because I'll be doing you a disservice. So I'm doing a long couch around that so you can really understand the takeaway from this question. What you need to take away from it, because as much as you think you're grinding outside of consumer mode, you still are stuck in consumer mode in most cases. And it's hard to admit it. So I want to make sure that when he closes with sharing exactly the difference between consumer and investor. And later apply it. And the question is, describe the investor and consumer. The difference between the investor and the consumer mindset in your own words, what would be the biggest red lights that you would say, man, this is when you're thinking like a consumer, and this is when you're thinking like an investor. Anything that would jump up in here.
I mean, I think the most distinctive thing is that one thing stands out. So we all make goals, right? And one of the biggest mistakes we make when we create those goals is we think about the material items. Or that Range Rover, or that Gucci bag, or that Louis bag, or whatever it is. The goal shouldn't be the material item. The goal should be the money. Literally, the goal should be the money. If whatever that amount of money is, just say the BMW, you want to do 750, it's $110,000. You shouldn't say this is the biggest, and I'm sure, and I know more people can relate to this. I know for a fact that I've been in situations when I was young, before I knew better. I would make a goal. I remember the new Escalade. The first Cadillac Escalade came out. I said, I want that Escalade. I want that Escalade. And I went into that dealership, and it didn't matter what terms they would have told me. How many months they would have told me. All they had to do is tell me, you can drive it off the lot today. And I would have signed that paperwork. It didn't matter. All I cared about is the note is something I can afford on the car note, and I can drive it away. That's a consumer mindset. That's how consumers move. But as a businessman, for the last 15 years, when I go buy a car, I'm going in, what's the price of that car? Well, let's start with you. Let me get some information from you. How much is the car? You don't need my name, you don't need my email, you don't need my phone number. How much do you want for the car? Well, we want 100. Will you take 90? Well, hold up. Are you financing? Don't worry about what I'm doing. Don't worry about if I'm using cash, credit. Don't worry about my credit. Let's negotiate the bottom line price first. Because I'm letting them know I'm not a consumer. I'm not thinking like this. And they're not used to that. So they're gonna be distraught. They're gonna get a manager. Because they've never experienced something like that. What would you need? You're not gonna tell us how you buy it, because that's none of your concern. It's none of your concern at all. All we need to do is negotiate a price. So that's something that we all have experienced. That's something that we're all going to deal with. So I'm trying to give you relatable the difference between the consumer and the investor. So for me, I'm always, every move that I make, with something we're always, I'm already thinking about how much money am I going to lose, how many years I'm going to keep it when it's time to get out of it. Most people don't think about the exit. Everything that I do in my life, I think about the exit plan. Every investment that I make, every item that I buy, whatever it is, I'm thinking about the exit. How much money am I going to really pay to drive this vehicle? How much money am I going to spend to live in this house? And that's the biggest difference. We have to stop spending our money on impulse. The time that we put into making that money, we have to spend double the amount of time before we let it go out of our hands. And that's something we don't do. We spend 40 hours a week making it, but spend it in 5 minutes. We got to spend more time doing the research on what we're going to spend the money on. We can understand what are we buying. Everything is an investment. Everything. Yeah, you're not gonna make money on everything, but it literally goes back to one of the oldest sayings that you've ever heard. We've all heard it. A penny saved is a penny earned. I've heard it my whole life, but never really knew what it meant. I just remember hearing it, but nobody ever actually explained that that's so real and so impactful. Every time you save a penny, you literally put that penny in your pocket. You made it. When you saved it, you actually made the money. If I saved $100,000 on negotiating deals a year, I got an extra $100,000 in my bank account. I actually made it. And I'm an extremist with it. Some people don't believe it. Oh, you can't negotiate everything. You almost can. I negotiated a Home Depot loans. They have what they call the vehicle loan. When you go in there and you buying 150 sheets of drywall, you don't just have to pay what's on the sticker. You can go to the general contractor's desk, the contractor's desk, and say, I'm buying 150 sheets. How much can I get for it? What do you offer? And you can make them an offer, and they'll send it to the vehicle loan, and they'll counter that. Most people don't know that. Every car dealership, every house you buy, most of it you can negotiate. But from a consumer, we can't even wrap our minds around things like that. We don't even think like that. As fast as we make the money, we spend.
I want to go back to what you said earlier. So I'm going to take it for the time. But it's important that you surround yourself with, right? And I speak directly to what I know. That's what I said. And it's okay for you to not have figured it out. Even to this moment, it's okay for you to not figure it out. But from this day forward, you want to try to have the discipline, the relationships around you, the iron sharpen iron relationship, these people in this room, and then just work on it little by little. This is working on being one of my best years in a while. I had some decent ones, but I kept asking the right questions until I started believing enough in my core to say that you're worth way more than you can accept. And I started building that. So you always hear the humility side of me, because I'm always going to talk about, I like to say it from the beginning of where sometimes it works, it don't work. But I like to bring the conversation like this just so you can get to the ring. I'm really going through the same storm you are, but I'm believing and I'm learning, I'm believing and I'm learning. If you can carry that out of you, you can change your life. Even if you think you plateaued, but you're doing good, you can still go to another level just by utilizing some of these principles that you're in. So I want to let you just kind of let that rest in your thoughts. Is that okay with you? All right. Is it okay if we get into the ladies' part? No, it's not just the ladies' part. But I got some pretty exciting ladies that I've been just waiting to get them up on this stage. And they're going to come in two forms. And we're going to be right at the tail end of our experience tonight. And then at the end of this experience, you can finish off those drinks up until they run out of water. And you can dance. You can turn the lights, you can sing, you can do whatever you want to do. There's some stuff going on downstairs. You can go down there, it's social studies. So they got a bunch of things going on. I just want to kind of say that because there's a lot going on. I want you to make sure you just kind of use this night, don't just run on, hang out and have some fun. Right? So I want to get Pamela Hagler, come on up. And this is what can we get back with you together? If not,
we can have her do the speaking without the interview.
was she gonna hear us?
She hears us now.
Oh, good.
So we are waiting for them to come back. I don't know how many of you all are still with us. This is actually the real Biz Ball, put together by 2XL, brother Lyric and sister Patrice Calhoun in Cleveland, Ohio. And so it looks like we're still in the show, but we're waiting. They've been having a really powerful program talking about the use of AI or artificial intelligence technology. And now we're moving into the real estate portion. Talked to a fabulous brother that is a friend of Brother Lyric's that talked about buying the block back and the difference between being consumers and investors. And it looks like they're bringing.
And old fellow was having and then I want maybe just going to just give a special acknowledgement and some words around, which is part of this program. And then we'll have to stand up and congratulate them. And then we're gonna have Dr. Valerie and Dr. Ford turn this place out and a special guest. Is that good? Hey, wait. Listen, look, we get up here. I'm just gonna get down there. So, all right. So, Pam, tell them what you want to tell them about your journey, your block. Tell them what you're doing.
Hello, how everybody doing?
Turn
Hear
it
you.
Okay. All right, welcome everybody to Global Entrepreneur Week. This is a fired up week and I just want to thank each and every last one of you for coming out. I'm so excited about sharing some great things that's a part of our journey. As we know, life is a journey and we out home, and as two family home, the other side, that's my journey as a young lady at 20 years old. Then I purchased the mirror
Calling you.
years and I became a licensed instructor for state board of cosmetology. And then as we say, life is a journey and only you go with that, right? So in that journey, I decided, well, I'm gonna be paying $1,500 to $1,700 a month and it's a beauty salon. I really started out wanting to just have a small area. But as if any of you know for school, was like, what you could do is very inspiring. And at that time, I purchased a beauty salon, and from there, I got into the real estate piece because one made this kind of money. I would like to be somewhere that start a corporation. And, the man started wondering, okay. I looked 2 blocks down and I seen a condemned building, and I purchased a condemned building, and that's where I started the corporation and Family for Life. So with that being said, now in real estate development, we have now purchased several blocks in the St. Clair area, and the goal
Let me
is
text you
to
because I'm live.
create jobs, opportunities, to create people to be able to come in and say, hey, this is generational wealth. And that's basically what it's all about, being able to create generational wealth right in our community. Of course, we love the money, we love the journey and everything, but what are we gonna have when we leave here? When we gone, we have to have something for our kids and our generations, and for the community to be able to say, you know what, that was a perfect example. So what we're creating now as a corporation is a template so that we can go to any other states and do that same thing and inspire other entrepreneurs to do the same thing as well.
And Debbie, you want to share a little bit about what you do overall?
Hi Cleveland, how are y'all? Thank y'all for welcoming me. Every time I come, I feel like I'm home. I feel like I'm at home. So thank you. Rick and I always talked about the story about how we started in business the same time. He always says that I'm 6 months older than him because I started 6 months earlier. But during my journey, I talked a little bit earlier about this, that I didn't have anybody to mentor me, help me move forward. I just knew I had a mind. I knew I wanted to be better than who I was. I knew that I wanted my family to be better than what we were. I was a little girl coming out of the South Bronx. Y'all know the South Bronx, the Billy Down Bronx. I was from the South Bronx. And coming up in the hip hop days and all the drugs and all the stuff that, I got to see as a child, and being in that environment and saying to myself, I wanted better, I wanted more, I wanted something that was different. So I was different from everybody else. And my friends would always say, you always have money, you always have this, you always have that. Because I always had money. I said, how much money that I had in my pocket? But I sold a booklet or whatever it was. I always had money coming into me to figure out how I could triple or double that. So as the years go on, real estate just kind of popped out and said, hey, I'm working this job 80 hours a week. Y'all know about an 80-hour week job? I worked an 80-hour week job, but I was an exempt employee. So you know what that means, right? I didn't get paid overtime. I worked 80 hours a week. And for a whole year, I was like, I want to get out of this. I don't want to be trapped in this. I love the passion of working in nonprofits, but I didn't see my community benefit from it. I wanted out. So for a whole year, I told my husband, I said, I have a son, I need to get out. I got out. Said, finally, you can leave. I left October 1999. Gave my notice, said, I'm leaving. They said, where you going? I don't know where I'm going. I'm getting out of here. So I left, started my real estate career. And I told ladies on the phone, I said, one of the things that I aspired is to have $1 million. In my first year, I made $1 million. But then I didn't know what to do with $1 million because I never had it. So I spent it and I spent it and I made more and I spent it and I made more and I spent it. And one of the things that I'm listening up here and saying, like our king said, you want to have the nice cars and you want to do that because that's what you didn't have. But as you get older, you realize you don't need those things anymore. What you need to do is leave the legacy to your family. And if you're leaving the legacy of your family, how do you build that legacy? So what we do with Property Sisters, we're teaching women how to build wealth, how to build legacy. And we don't exclude the men. We're just saying that because this is a male-dominated business, women need to show that they can do the same. They can do exceptional. They can be breadwinners, or they can be one added value to their families as well. So how do you do that? You bring them, you show them, you educate them, and you teach them how to go block after block after block. So when we have these meetings, I always talk about how we're gonna make $1 million, and some of them will look at me, how can I just get one property? I said, well, you can get one, and you can multiply, and you can multiply, and you can multiply. So the important goal of this today for global entrepreneurship, like you said, are we gonna be investors or are we gonna be developers? So property sisters, what are we? That's what we are, and that's how we're gonna move. So the developers, if you're interested in being a developer, look in that book, sign up. We got a next class coming up in January. We look forward to seeing you for that January again.
All right. So the party system stand up real quick. I'm gonna recognize you all for graduating from the 7-week
All the
program.
ladies, stand up.
I bet you I was doing that. I think we're right up there.
So y'all stand up, nice something. And you can stand up there too, Lisa. This is out of Canton. She's starting her own property
All
network
right.
up there. So you're looking at the next generation of really real estate development teachers that you can be as investors and developers, right? Developers, the mindset to know that you have to make an impact in your community while making money. So do well while doing well. So they went through a 7-week program. There, Tom Stone, where you at? Tom Stone, stand up here.
Tom and John Light. Where you at, John Light?
Let's stand up there, John Light. All right, so these two guys get social recognition for them because they came together in a lot of different ways to support us in being able to set up this program. St. Luke's Foundation, Union Miles, they all supported us financially and with their resources to allow them to go through 7 weeks, and now they're buying back the block. Where's Candace? They bought her first 2-family closed on yesterday.
Actually doing. So Dr. Andrina, where you at? Where's Dr. Andrina?
She's over there. Dr. A.
Dr. Andrina.
All right, Dr. Andrina is purchasing the property, and then she's going to make that property available to, where's she at? Jazz, where you at, Jazz? All right, see, right? She bought it, fixed it up. She's gonna come in as a tenant and then one day own it. And then Candace bought a property and is fixing it up. And then the young lady on that corner over there, Terry Well, will be moving in that property as a lead doctor. So thank you all for what you all are doing. I'll have to keep this thing moving because I know we got off of time, but I wanted y'all to hear just a few words from Pamela J. 148 to St. Clair, 7 entertainers. We go up here, property operations. And I want you to hear Debbie just share what she does and who they are. But I know we're on a time bend, and I want to be respectful of that, and then bring up the rest of our guests for this evening. So if you're okay with that, we'll you okay with that? All right. So you all have an opportunity to be able to network with them, but I did want to make sure I at least got them up on the stage so we can see who they are, know what they do. I'm not going to go deep into questions just because that's the time, but I want to make sure because we have 2 young ladies that's flown in, one from Chicago, Dr. Jafora Fox and Dr. Valerie Walston, who I believe that their words are going to transform a lot of ladies in here today. And then Mary is going to give you a special treat. Where you at, Mary? All right, so thank you all. Give you a round of applause. And please, you know, we're talking about I'm talking about shit. Okay, Mary, you come first. Oh, wait, hold on, wait, maybe not. Where you guys at? That's the drink tickets. All right, so I need to set the tone because y'all been into the information, and I can appreciate that. But we have to go back a step because it's a 3-step process to transform your life. It's motivation, education, application. Brings about the transformation. So motivation is when you wake that spirit up. And before you can really, sometimes in the good word, they'll do the praise and worship and all that stuff. But sometimes you can just get into your moment in your spirit and open yourself up so you can receive some more stuff. And then through that educational process, you learn what you can go out and apply in your real life. So, look at they got the toasty. Hey man, I remember you were the drunk. I was dying into their seats. You good? You got it? Come on in. That's all right. Oh yeah, you go on red carpet. Come on up red carpet. Yeah. All right, they're gonna turn us up here. But so she's gonna share with us a few words of her journey and just a powerful piece that she utilized in order to get herself woke up in her spirit, and hopefully and prayerfully it'll wake up your spirit enough to receive our two final speakers, and they're going to speak, and I will get out of the way. I was going to interview them, but now one is a super healer, Dr. Fox. One is just a breakthrough, soar, surviving obstacles and attaining rewards. And I'm going to formally introduce them before I get off here, because when I get off here, the next word you hear after this voice will be theirs. So, before we go into that, blessings to Mary, because Mary was able to assemble this band. I just said, I need a band, Mary, and I need a story to be able to share something for the 300,000 Black women that lost their jobs and the millions of people that lost their EBT cards, snapping their hope on at the same time. And the crime rate has gotten higher and the hope has gotten lower. And I want to make sure that when y'all leave out of here, y'all know the purpose that y'all have and the responsibility to go out and do an impact with that. And this next three are going to help you with that. Y'all good with that? So Dr. Jabora Fox from Chicago, you stay there, Dr. Jabora. You come on next, she is a superhero. When she comes up here, I'm going to have her read a book. Read out of her book and share with you just information that she used in a way that you will blow your mind. When I first heard her read just chapters out of her book, it blew my mind. It'll wake your spirit up. And she's going to wake you up with the power to heal. And through her journey, she's going to share it. From that, then Dr. Valerie is going to come up and teach you how to soar. Dr. Valerie was one of those 300,000 that was let go. And when she was let go, she did not give up. She decided to soar instead of going down. She let go from a very high-figure job for no reason that would make sense to anybody. She learned to survive obstacles and attain rewards. Surviving obstacles, so that if you can overcome that obstacle, then there's a reward on the other side for the whole process. Why am I spending so much time on overload? Not just because they're my client, but because I want to make sure that you do everything you can to support those two before they go home. Buy every book they have, donate, sow into, and support everybody. But these two, I'm having to close out because we spent a lot of time over the last 6 months building their brands and launching. Now, these gotta understand that. They launched. Matter of fact, come right here just real quick. Just come on, I just need to see their face really quick. And I need you to take it away and change the spirit here. Get them ready to see people, okay? You got me ready? There's something I want to see what I'm talking about. Come on, Dr. Valerie. I want to see your face. I think I'll come up here and then you can red carpet. You can red carpet. I don't see if I'm red carpet. Come on down. It's right over here. See this. Come on yeah. All right, y'all good up there? So, this is Dr. Jabora. Let's give a round of applause up here. This is Dr. Valerie. We embarked on the journey not even 4 months ago. And 4 months ago, they just had a vision of launching their dreams so they can go out and empower women and empower people with their stories. And we built brands and we launched their brand on October 3rd in Chicago, and on October 12th in Toledo. And so they're live and trying to build their business. So when they get done, I want you to just see them, buy from them, connect with them, buy their books, that'll leave out here with the music and everybody. Y'all good with that? I got nothing. So, hey, what do you say?
gonna get.
I know.
I hope you. I want this luxury SUV a lot of years. I'm gonna get a Tucson. So I tell you 15,000, 20,000 less. I'm gonna go ahead and get that, but I was not gonna come tonight. Because I was at church today. Oh, you can keep this mic up. I was at church today. I lead worship at 2 different churches. I help develop worship department. If you need somebody to help develop your singers, you can see it. But while we were in service, towards the end of service, someone came in and said there are about 20 cars that was broken into while we're in service. It's a one-way street on 55th at the Lion Church. Come to find out, all of them had the same thing happen to them today. Same people in their cars. So our car was one of them. Not a big deal. Paid $224 to get my window fixed tomorrow. But it took my makeup bag. And my expensive stuff on my makeup bag. Anyway, so, but thank God for good jeans. Amen. Yeah. So long story short, before the pandemic hit, I had about 4 or 5 streams of income. Pandemic hit, went down to 1. It's my regular job. Started making cookies, pies, cakes, did type that, put in some of those. And I started my online clothing boutique at home because everything was online. I was doing plus size modeling in New York. I always wanted to help women feel good about their bodies, no matter what size. I've been all the sizes. I'm 35 pounds down now. Thank you, Jesus. I got to get that belly grow just for the pandemic. Amen. But started online. After 1 year, I took a small salon suite in Willoughby. There 4 months wasn't making money. The landlord was breaking. They had a new business owner. And I'm in the Tower City. Because it was like $4 more. Drained everything. Drained my savings. Messed up my credit. Everything. But before I went to Tower City, I was working from home, but I got laid off from my regular job. So that is what really did it, being laid off. But I want you to know that anything you're going through is temporary. Even though I was going through financially and stuff trying to mess with me mentally, I knew that it was temporary, that God had me, that God was carrying me. Amen. So I was able, I applied for I don't know how many jobs for 2 years. Didn't get not one interview. It was like God wanted me to go for that. Because I learned so much. I took classes. I had a mentor who was a millionaire who I watched build her business the same thing I do. It's Honorary Boutique and it's marketing. So, long story short, I'm pivoting now. Like I said, I was not going to come tonight, but hear what I heard here, I needed to hear. I needed to connect with people while I was here. I needed to exchange numbers. So I thank God that I am here. And when, I forgot who said, it's not for the weak to own the bid, it is not for the weak, and I know we all know that. But I'm just here to encourage you that whatever you're going through, whether it's your business, your home stuff, whatever, it's temporary, and that God has you. Amen? Amen. All right, here we go. You ocean in your presence, you hold up your routine of your face. If I can just you dance in your presence, you never leave the place. I can you dance in your presence, and leave all my cares behind me.
That was phenomenal. Absolutely. I am so excited to be here. I'm so honored. So thank you, Cleveland, for welcoming me. I have been in prayer. I have been in consecration. I have been asking the Lord, what would you have for me to say to these beautiful, amazing people here? And what's her name, Mary? Oh my God. It seemed like she just done everything that I've gone through to get to this point and to even continue to move forward. But I am Dr. Jafora Fox, and I am so excited. I have a PhD in business administration, specializing in industrial organizational psychology. I also have a counseling degree, an MBA, and a psychology degree. And so what I've done is, because I am a woman of faith, I love God with everything in me. And I am so grateful and thankful to God because I am because of God. To God be the glory. So I don't say that to brag about me. I say that to brag about my God. Our God, our Father. Because He is the one that my entire life has been impressed. And we all know that we have challenges and we have struggles and we have situations and we've all gone through things. And as the panelists have been talking, one of the things that I do that I have is called Free to Love Me. Because what you need to do, you need to love who you are. You need to love who you are. In order for you to lead well, you need to live well. And what they were talking about was all of the things that we can acquire. And the reason why we do what we do is because we're trying to fill a void. We buy things that we don't need. We do things that we shouldn't do because of our heart posture not being in the right place. And so I just wanted to take this moment just absolutely to thank Coach LaRick for this opportunity and his lovely wife, Lady Patrice Calhoun. Y'all give it up for them. They are absolutely awesome and amazing, and I am so thankful and grateful to them. We all need somebody, as we talk about the community, and Coach LaRick is my coach. A coach needs a coach. You need somebody to help you. You need somebody to guide you. You need somebody to help you go to the next level. Even when you've gotten to the level, you need someone to help you go to the next level, because we always want to be growing and evolving. And so my book is called Free to Love Me. It's one of the books. That's my latest one. And it's my memoir of healing, identity, and freedom. And the Lord instructed me now it's time to write about who you are, what you've gone through, just a part of it, because I couldn't tell you all of it. But I wanted to provide some information about just my journey. So that's one of the books. And then I have Perhaps You're the Problem. As they say in the church, turn to your neighbor and say, perhaps you're the problem. But it's navigating interpersonal conflict in the African American church. And it's so to help, because what it really is about is introspection. It's about you looking at yourself. Don't look at anyone else. You can turn to your neighbor again, as we say in the church, perhaps you are the problem.
You are the problem.
And so take a look at yourself. And then I have my Free to Love Me, which is